What is Silk Hope and how did it get its name?
So, well, I'm sure there's several different stories. I used to live out in Silk Hope, and I was a member of the Ruritan organization. And what I was told was that when the Quakers first settled in the Carolinas, we're talking colonial times, they had ambitions of actually making silk here. So China had the monopoly on the silk trade, and this area was doing cotton, and North Carolina was already becoming a pretty big force in textiles, so they wanted to get involved in the silk trade. And so legend has it that some of the Quakers actually stole silkworms from China, which I guess was like punishable by death if you got caught or whatever. So, China really had a big lockdown on the silk trade or whatever. But they stole the silkworms and they brought them to Silk Hope to see whether or not they could get them going. And again, I have no idea if this is true, but legend has it that silkworms eat mulberry and mulberry leaves, and throughout Silk Hope there's a bunch of mulberry trees that I guess are descendants from those or whatever. But the funny thing is that they brought all the silkworms and all the silkworms died, and they assumed it was because the North Carolina climate was too harsh, too cold for the silkworms to survive. But what they later found out was they actually brought the wrong type of mulberry trees, and so they had the wrong type of mulberry leaves, so actually the silkworms starved to death. And so that's why we don't have a silk trade in Silk Hope. But another interesting thing about Silk Hope is it's an area, it's a community, it's a school district, it's a fire department, but the vast majority of Silk Hope is actually Siler City zip code, and people are always asking, how come I can't find Silk Hope and everything? And so what we say Silk Hope is basically north of 64 up to the Alamance line, and between 87 and 421, and that whole area is the Silk Hope area.